Okay, so I went ahead and since we're going to make a contact list, I just kind of changed these headings up. We don't need this heading prop anymore. And you'll notice we have this, there are blank blank contacts on this list. What we're going to do is actually make it so that this application can look at a piece of an API response and render however many contacts there are showing up on the list. So before we actually make any live API calls, if we get to that today, we're going to take this random users JSON file that I've included in the source directory and use it to generate some stuff in the UI. So let me show you what I mean by that. You can import that just as you've been importing React or you've been importing your components you create by doing import, and then I'm going to say list of users from // because we're in components, we have to jump outside of here and get that from random users JSON. Forget the semicolon. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is give this list of users thing to header as a prop. Now let me say that again. I'm going to set a prop called users to the value of list of users. Before I do that, I want you to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do that yourself. All right. Now, to set the users prop on header, I'm just going to use the kind of the like HTML style attribute setting syntax here to say headers has a prop called users that is equal to list of users. Okay, now if we save that, nothing's happening yet. I haven't done anything with those props. That's going to be step 2. But I wanted to do this to go ahead and look at this header, and you can see we have a prop called users showing up now, which includes some metadata that came from the response. That's a very common thing you'll see in API responses, as well as this users array with all of these different just kind of pieces of dummy data, which is pretty cool. So first of all, I wanted to do this to show you, like, we wanted to just do a sanity check to make sure that we were actually getting the data that we needed. We just need this array of users. We don't need any of the metadata here, right? So what we should do then is just say, I actually only want users, right, inside of list of users, right? And so we can just do list of users dot users like that, right? And now just take another look here, and now we have users, and it's only the data we need, right? Just the array. Okay. Cool. So now, if we have that array, how do you think we can we can render the amount of contacts or users in our title here, the subheader here? Well, we have an array. We can already see how many users are in that array, how many contacts we have here. So can you think of a way to get the amount of items in an array? I bet you can. Why don't you give it a shot? Try to see if you can make that happen in here. So pause the video and replace these underscores with some curly braces. This tells React we want to just write plain JavaScript. See if you can access the users prop and render how many users are in that array. Okay, give it a shot. All right, so the answer is we have to first reference the props, right? So step 1 was setting the prop users. Step 2 is getting the prop out of the props object. So I call props.users, okay? And I have to do one more thing, which is actually ask for the length of props.users. Now if I save that, look at that, 10 contacts on this list. And that will always evaluate the length of props.users for us, okay? So if I just replaced that with an empty array, it will say 0. See that? Right? Cool. So the nice thing is we can use this same users, like this same list of users thing here, to generate an actual list of users in the list component. So I would encourage you to pass the users as a prop to list and give it a shot yourself and see if you can, in the list component, replace this static data with some real data from one of the users. So you could do, like, just to start out, you could do like const first user equals props dot users 0. Since it's an array, just grab the first one to play with and then see if you can insert it into this component. In the next lesson, what we'll do is we'll take a look at, we'll go through this and take a look at actually generating a list item for each component or for each user.